So again, what are we looking at here? We're looking at what do we do when things go wrong. The biggest thing to avoid is being in a situation where things can go wrong in the first place. Things go wrong when we let our mouth overload our ass, eliciting behavioral correction violence. Okay, so you're at the bar, your team sucks, your team sucks, you're a fucking loser. You know, what's going to happen? Is this guy going to go, you're right, my team sucks, I'm a loser. Sure, I've been drinking all night, and I should be overreacting to this, but I'm not going to buy your stuff. I mean, wouldn't it be nice if everybody would treat you like that?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Anderson Silva, you probably can get away with that, right? Because everybody's going to be like, he's Anderson Silva, what can I do?
What am I going to do?
You know, but we're not Anderson Silva. So if you go out acting like an ass, someone is going to correct your behavior, okay? And it may not be in a fashion that you were hoping for. Or when we go somewhere we don't belong, okay? This would be eliciting territorial violence, right? So I don't know what you're doing here. You know, you're going to a part of town at night. That's a bad area, and you know you shouldn't be there.
You know you shouldn't be there.
But for some reason you want to go there. I don't know. You want to get a tattoo in downtown Atlantic City by the boardwalk, off the boardwalk, excuse me, because that's where you got a tattoo before. But now it's 2:30 in the morning, and you and your friends are dressed up in your bachelor party attire. You know, maybe it's after the wedding, or after the prom, and you're wearing your tuxedo, and now you're going to go walk off the boardwalk in Atlantic City because you had got a good tattoo from this guy before at a good price. I mean, that would be, you shouldn't be there at that time in the morning.
Right.
And what's going to happen? You're going to be in a territory that's not yours, and they know you don't belong there, and so now they're going to take advantage of it. Let's see. Or when we let down our guard, again, this situation could be that too, where we're going to elicit criminal violence. Or when we underestimate a situation or are not properly prepared, eliciting predatorial violence. So again, you know, just any of those situations where now you start unloading your ass on this guy, and he decides that you're the guy he's going to break. That's what all he wants to do is break you. He's a predator. He's going to break you. He wants to show you who the king of the jungle is. Yeah, I've been there and done that. So one of the best answers to the question is, make sure we are not in a situation where it could cost us our life. So what do we do when things go wrong? Well, first off, don't be there in the first place. Make sure we're not in a situation where it could cost us our life. Okay, so when things start to go wrong, first off, we've got to stay in the fight. If you saw one of the videos, I dropped my knife one time while I was attacking you. Actually, to show you where I'm at compared to what I'm posting. What I posted last night was lesson 4, the customizable defense, zone 1 customizable defense. That was it was video 30A. Okay. So that's how far I am. We're actually physically done with the course, and I'm only posting the last drills from lesson 4.
Yeah.
So anyways, I come at you, and somewhere along the way, the knife falls out of my hand. But what I do is I continue to move behind you. I get behind you and I like check you and then kick you.
Yeah.
And because I have to continue to fight, I'm trying to get you away from me. Certainly if I can get you turned away from me and moving away from me, I have a lot more control over that situation than if I just stop fighting. So anyways, we have to continue to fight when things start to go wrong. If we have fought hard, the threat will probably be in a position where he will be happy, to end the fight alive and apparently in the lead. If we are down, that will probably be enough for him, especially if we look like we are still willing to try to defend ourselves, and we are reminding him that the police are probably on the way. We can no longer attack him if he stays away from us, and he has taught us the lesson he wanted to, so he'll probably go away. So again, if you fight hard, you always have a chance of letting this guy give up. During the gun course, we talked about a situation where the cop was fighting the guy, and the guy got his gun, and somehow the cop got a 2x4. The cop was getting shot during this time, and he got the 2x4, and he whacked the guy one time with the 2x4, and at that point he was like already on the ground, or he was going to the ground from the gunshots. And after he hit the guy with the 2x4, that was it. The 2x4 fell out of his hand, and he's just done. The fight is over for him. He can no longer fight. He's been shot too many times.
Right.
Okay, and now the guy who has his gun just turns and goes away because he don't want to fight no more too.
Right.
I mean, if he wanted to, the cop was saying, if he wanted to, he could have killed me with a pebble, I think was what his exact words were. This guy could have killed me with a pebble. But he had had enough fight also. You know. And again, maybe that's all he wanted to do was put the cop down so he could get away.
I think it was from the kid's point of view, right?
Oh, I think the kid said that too.
Yeah, the kid said,
that,
I hit him, I shot him, but he didn't die, and I can't believe he hit me with a 2x4.
Right, and
He's
he
like,
had
I can't
enough.
believe he kept fighting back.
Right, right. So the kid had had enough at that point, and he F's off. That's what's nice about that one FBI report, is you see it from the cop's view, and then they find a bad guy who will also be forthcoming on his description of the events, and he describes the events also. Like there was one time where the kid said, I didn't want to shoot this cop. This is a kid who had shot a cop before during a traffic stop, but he goes through another traffic stop, and he doesn't shoot the cop because he says this cop was prepared.
Yeah.
You know, I saw the way he come up and he touched the back of my fender with his hand.
Yeah.
I saw the way that he kept the beams in the on the side of the car between me and him, where I wouldn't be able to get a good clean shot at him. Whereas the other officer had like walked right up to the window. I'm like, hey buddy, you know, did you know you ran that red light? And then the kid just pulls gun, wham, wham, shoots him. But with this other guy, this guy was careful. The kid's like, I didn't think I was going to win the fight. So instead, what do you do? He gets arrested and goes to jail.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, that's always the choice you can make. Do you want to die or do you want to go to jail?
Right.
And this kid decided that there was much more of a chance that he was going to die from the shootout with this cop, so he'll go to jail for shooting the other cop. So anyways, the criminals, they are thinking. Don't think that they aren't thinking. Okay, so anyways, again, keep fighting, and you have a better chance of this guy quitting than if you're not fighting, and he wants to end your life, and you're not putting up any fight. He's going to have a lot easier chance of doing it. The next best answer deals with being prepared. Again, when a knife fight goes wrong, make sure that we're prepared enough so that it is only an injury that occurred because the threat got lucky, or because we were trying to be a little too nice by using only half of the bag of tricks that we have. One of the best ways is to have a backup plan, like remembering that we'll always have the advantage by surprising our newfound friend. That we'll always have the advantage by surprising our newfound friend by letting him know he's committed a grave mistake of showing up with only a knife at a gunfight. This is worded terrible. You know, I have to like read. Can you understand anything what the fuck I'm talking about there?
Yeah. Just
it was just
if you make the first move, then you win.
So anyways, basically, you know, that second plan is, again, we pulled our knife while this guy's following us through the parking lot, and then all of a sudden when he turns and he's got us cornered and he thinks he's coming to a knife fight, we step back and dang, 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 you know, let him know that he committed a grave mistake by showing up at a knife fight when we were having a gunfight. Okay, so one thing you don't want to do when things have gone wrong is say, wow, I want to make sure I go out with a bang. You know, I mean, that's a bad plan B.
Yeah, that's a plan to die.
Okay, so anyways, many of us have seen a bloody and broken drunk lunging at a guy who just gave him a brutal beating. The drunk knows things have gone wrong, but he would love to just get one decent punch in. But it is way too late. In a knife fight, you know, he'd be a dead man walking. I mean, you're still going to try to stab this guy, hoping that at least your final efforts will take someone with you. I mean, I've been in these situations. Guys just continue in the fight, and if you hit them or stab them one more time, they're going to die.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but I've seen it happen. I've been in those kind of situations where guys are just still trying to get you. It's like, dude, just fucking go home.
Yeah.
So anyways, the better question to ask before the fight is what kind of things could go wrong. So now you're looking at the right thing. You're saying, what kind of things could go wrong? You know, let me look at my skill level. Let me look at my lifestyle and what I do and what could go wrong. And then start preparing for what could go wrong. And now you're really going to surprise this guy who thinks things have gone wrong for you, but you're ready for him to go wrong, like I was with that situation there. I mean, they had to think, oh my God, look, we've got him right between us. I mean, he had to be bummed out initially when I saw him hiding over there.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he was going to come up and tase me or smack me in the back of the head or try to get the jump on me with a gun or a knife or something like that, where he was going to be real close to me and I wasn't going to have this space, you know, that type of stuff. So for him, things were actually going wrong right away. Whereas for me, you know, I was just
being you.
being me. If we come up with things that could go wrong, then we come up with things that could solve the potential problem. For example, would we consider being in a tug of war for our knife against a threat that is stronger than us to be a problem?
Yeah, it's a big problem.
So the muscle man needs his steroids, so he's following you to your car to rob you, and he pulls a knife, and you pull your knife, and something happens where all of a sudden his knife goes flying in the air, but somehow he's got both of his arms on your hand. One of them's holding the grip like on your grip, and the other one's got your wrist, so you can't really go to working on him. What are you going to do?
Kick him in the nuts.
Well, exactly. You have to. These are things you have to work on. You know, these are things. If you think that this is a problem that you need to address, you need to work and figure a solution for it. So, what do we think would be a good way to gain control of that situation? Now we would have something to work on, and if we work out an effective solution, we have one less way for things to go wrong.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm going to fight him.
I bite him on that.
So anyways, once we have a firm foundation in the basics, fighting is kind of like poker. The more outs we have, the more chances we have to win. This is the fifth and final fundamental of the course. Find solutions. Taking a gun to the fight is one of the best ways to ensure survival. A gun is a great equalizer for situations where someone may have more ability in some way to injure us. If our gun fails, make sure we have a knife or other weapon of opportunity for backup. When we use those weapons, add to their effectiveness by using the body's natural weapons. If we begin throwing everything we have, we increase our chances of overwhelming the threat and surviving to tell the story ourselves rather than having it told for us by a stranger on the 6 o'clock news. Increase our outs by experiencing as many different styles as possible. So again, you know, that was one thing that we really focused on was forward grip and the reverse grip, right hand and left hand. You know, the lead here and the lead, you know, and not the lead, leading with the knife and not leading with the knife. You want to look at all that different stuff. We want to mix up the way Tori attacks. I just said that, you know, rear carry, front carry, right hand, left hand, short or long attacks, different grips. Another thing is to mix up the way we initially respond. Unarmed, pulling a gun, picking up some sand, etc. These will all give us less ways for things to go wrong. Think about different scenarios and answer the questions that should arise, like, how do I attack a guy while drawing a gun? When should I go for my knife in this situation versus that situation? How should I get my knife out in different situations, etc.? Like, for instance, we started the class today, and some new video had come out about the grow house in Miami that was, the police came to do some investigation on this stuff. They didn't have a warrant, but they're coming to do an investigation, and a big gunfight ensues, right? So we started looking at all the different guys. You know, look at this guy. How come he drew so slow? Look at where he's moving. Why did he move that way instead of that way? You know, look at how he's shooting. You know, he's just throwing shots behind him. You know, all this type of stuff. So you're looking at, you know, how the guys move, how they drew, what they used as cover, you know, all that type of stuff. And again, you need to analyze these situations and put that in your toolbox. You know, what happened here and what could have happened better. You know, that type of stuff. Again, you're trying to figure out what can I do when things go wrong. Well, this guy pulled a gun on him. That's something going wrong because they didn't see the guy in the car when they first started. Well, anyways, basically it's a guy getting ambush on you, and you know, things have gone wrong. So what do you do to fix it? And that's what we're looking at. You know, we look at these guys in the way that they gunfight, and you know, they definitely had some room for improvement. They did wind up winning, but again, it was a 4 guns versus 1 gun situation, where initially they had this guy pretty much set up where they had him on both sides, but then they moved in such a way to where they no longer had him on each side. You know, they definitely could have had better movement. So anyways, you know, you want to analyze these situations. This is a thing that Tom Gevins taught me about, was you know, find as many situations as you can out there that actually occurred, and then put yourself in all the different positions. Put yourself in the position of the bad guy. What could have he done to win the gunfight? Put yourself in the position of the good guy. What could have he done to, you know, fare better during the gunfight? All that stuff, you know, helps you realize what you need to train on. Let's see. Let's see. So again, a gun is a great equalizer. Okay, so what are we talking about? Outs here. Think about different scenarios. Okay. So again, you know, that's stuff that you want to look at. You definitely want to look at situations, try to figure out what can go wrong, and then start trying to figure out how you can capitalize on those situations. If we do have an encounter, we want to be as familiar as possible. If we do have an encounter, we want it to be as familiar as possible. If we are familiar with it, we probably have been successful against it on several occasions in our training, and that will keep us confident and put the odds further in our favor. Here are some things to think about concerning the actual possibility of violent situations that will help us answer some of the questions that may come up later. When a threat offers us a chance to leave, or to change our behavior, or to give something up, we should. In most cases, it is better to be safe than sorry. When we are 100% sure that we can overcome the threat, and we have previously rehearsed similar scenarios, then we may decide to take the situation into our own hands. However, if it is not a clear-cut situation that constitutes our use of lethal force, leave the job up to law enforcement. So again, if you don't have to use lethal force, well then you can probably get the hell out of there. I mean, it's not so serious that he's going to cause seriously bodily injury to you or one of your loved ones, or if he doesn't have the ability to kill you or one of your loved ones, just get the hell out of there. You know what I'm saying? Once you start ramping it up to where you have to use lethal force, well, maybe you're the instigator in that situation. You know, you should have left. Okay, you're at a bar, and inside you were really cheering your team really hard, and now outside some guy confronts you with, you know, you're an asshole, and, you know, what are you going to do? Listen, buddy, I'm sorry. I was having fun watching the game,
Yeah.
okay? I'm going home now. We don't need what you think is going to happen here, and it's not going to work out well for you anyway. So I'm just going to say sorry, and I'm going to leave the area. The area is yours now. He's going to feel like he just won something. He got an apology from you. You're leaving the area. Now, if he wants to ramp it up, he wants to take a big step to ramp it up, you haven't done anything to instigate that situation. You know, now you're going to have a much better chance in court of, you know, I tried to tell the guy to leave. I told him I wanted to leave. Especially with these video cameras in the parking lots nowadays.
Everywhere.
They see your hands up. They see you turn into the car, putting your keys in, and now this guy attacks you. I mean, you know, you try to get out of there. You know, that's the better safe than sorry choice. But this guy just wasn't having any of it. Well, now you have a much better chance to use your lethal force and succeed in this scenario because you practice that type of stuff. But you don't want to be in that gray area. You don't want to get in that gray area where it's a fight, you know, and now all of a sudden he winds up dead. Like I say, you only want to draw the samurai sword when it has to taste blood, you know. I mean, that's just the way it is. Otherwise, get the hell out of there. You know, call the police. You know, there's some asshole bottom. Walk back in the bar. Walk back in the bar and call the police. There's some guy out here trying to bother me, you know. Then the police come and they take the guy away. He's drunk, running around in public. You know, you're not allowed to do that. So let's see. When we have to deal with the situation, the time to arm ourselves with a superior weapon is before the attack. Okay? It's critical. When we have to deal with a situation, in other words, we're walking to our car, somebody starts following us, the time to arm ourselves with a superior weapon is before the attack. If we are not in law enforcement, we can't brandish a weapon to resolve the problem. However, we can make ready our defense. Remember that defense avoidance will be required before we can dictate our offense. Okay? So we just can't go on the offense because some guy's following us to our car. You know, we have to use avoidance. We have to use defense. Stop, stay back. What do you want? You know, stop, stay back. What do you want? You got your knife here. Stop, stay back. What do you want? You got your gun here. You know, you need to practice with both hands out there, with empty hand. You know, you need to practice that stuff. You don't need to be thinking about stop, stay back. Oh shit, that's my gun hand. You know, now this guy attacks you, grabs your hand. Well, you should have been like this in the first place, right?
Or you do one of our responses, stop, I'm going to kill you by accident.
Yeah. So, yeah.
No, exactly. No, I meant the other one. Right.
Yeah, you can't go out and threaten this guy right away. So again, you know, this is going to help us dictate the action when the action starts. Having our weapon ready as soon as possible. But again, you know, you just can't walk into a parking lot and pull out your gun and, what are you following me for? You know, it's just, you're going to go to jail. So 3, we need to be very conscious of our appearance in all confrontations. If we are the one closing the interval and then attacking, we may be the one allowing them to legally use lethal force. So again, this guy's following you. You pull out a gun and say, "What the hell are you following me for?" Well, maybe he's a trained guy. He steps offline. He gets his weapon out. We're trying to get back on target for him, and he's on target for us. And boom, boom, boom. Maybe it's boom, 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 as both of us fire our 3 shots at the same time, and both of us go down. I mean, you have to be very cautious of your appearance in all confrontations. Customizable defense, zone one customizable defense. That was it was video 30A. Okay. So that's how far I am. We're actually physically done with the course, and I'm only posting the last drills from lesson 4.
Yeah.
So anyways, I come at you, and somewhere along the way, the knife falls out of my hand. But what I do is I continue to move behind you. I get behind you and I check you and then kick you.
Yeah.
And because I have to continue to fight, I'm trying to get you away from me. Certainly, if I get you turned away from me and moving away from me, I have a lot more control over that situation than if I just stop fighting. So anyways, we have to continue to fight when things start to go wrong. If we have fought hard, already attire, maybe it's after the wedding or after the prom, and you're wearing your tuxedo, and now you're going to go walk off the boardwalk in Atlantic City because you had got a good tattoo from this guy before at a good price. I mean, you shouldn't be there at that time in the morning.
Right.
And what's going to happen? You're going to be in a territory that's not yours, and they know you don't belong there, and so now they're going to take advantage of it. Let's see. Or when we let down our guard, again, this situation could be that too, where we're going to elicit criminal violence. Or when we underestimate a situation or are not properly prepared, eliciting predatorial violence. So again, just any of those situations where now you start unloading your ass on this guy, and he decides that. So again, what are we looking at here? We're looking at what do we do when things go wrong. The biggest thing to avoid is being in a situation where things can go wrong in the first place. Things go wrong when we let our mouth overload our ass, eliciting behavioral correction violence. Okay, so you're at the bar, your team sucks, you're a fucking loser. What's going to happen? Is this guy going to go, "You're right, my team sucks, I'm a loser. Sure, I've been drinking all night, and I should be overreacting to this, but I'm not going to buy your stuff." I mean, wouldn't it be nice if everybody would treat you like that?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're Anderson Silva, you probably can get away with that, right? Because everybody's going to be like, "He's Anderson Silva, what can I do?"
What am I going to do?
But we're not Anderson Silva. You're the guy he's going to break. That's what all he wants to do is break you. He's a predator, he's going to break you. He wants to show you who the king of the jungle is. Yeah, I've been there and done that. So one of the best answers to the question is, make sure we are not in a situation where it could cost us our life. So what do we do when things go wrong? Well, first off, don't be there in the first place. Make sure we're not in a situation where it could cost us our life. Okay, so when things start to go wrong, first off, we've got to stay in the fight. If you saw one of the videos, I dropped my knife one time while I was attacking you. Actually, to show you where I'm at compared to what I'm posting. What I posted last night was lesson 4, the custom. So if you go out acting like an ass, someone is going to correct your behavior, okay? And it may not be in a fashion that you were hoping for. Or when we go somewhere we don't belong, okay? This would be eliciting territorial violence, right? So I don't know what you're doing here. You're going to a part of town at night. That's a bad area, and you shouldn't be there.
You know you shouldn't be there.
But for some reason you want to go there. I don't know. You want to get a tattoo in downtown Atlantic City by the boardwalk, off the boardwalk, excuse me, because that's where you got a tattoo before. But now it's 2:30 in the morning, and you and your friends are dressed up in your bachelor party.